fighting, and then it's comedy, and then it's a little bit of dialogue, but then it's fighting, it's comedy, and it. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. Today's Manga Pollen, Sakamoto Days. Now, today's manga is a change up from my normal sappy romantic love stories. It is a action manga, and I actually do enjoy this one. So let's get into it. So, Sakamoto Days is about an assassin who is top of his class, grade A, the best of the best, that falls in love one day and decides to quit altogether overnight to fall in love, get married, and have a child, and run a convenience store with his family. So, even though it's a fairy tale to him, according to the Assassin's Creed, according to the Assassin's Creed, you are not allowed to just up and leave. You either stay for life, or when you get out, they take you out and kill you. So, in this book, we see his life as a convenience store shop owner, living with his family, his wife, and his daughter. And while he is in his retirement, enjoying life, and has gotten fat, he was a very slim young man assassin. A fellow colleague that respected him and worked with him closely shows up at his convenience store to possibly take him out because of this creed of the assassins that you cannot just merely leave, you die. And so in a turn of events, he decides to not kill him, since Sakamoto himself saves this young man who he used to work with, that the young man looks up to him as a mentor and idol, and that's when things get a little bit interesting. I will not spoil it, but it is a really good book. It is a funny action kind of style book. It gave me the vibes of One Piece. No, I have not read One Piece at the moment, or at the time of this video has come out, but that very, fighting, and then it's comedy, and then it's a little bit of dialogue, but then it's fighting, it's comedy, and it's always moving and going. So it was really interesting to read. It was one of my first action ones that I actually read because I read a lot of romantic ones and the sappy ones. So I like that there was the comedy in it, and there was the action in it, and then there's the really sweet love story in it, and why he decided to leave all of that behind for his wife, and the new rules that she gives him, like he's not allowed to kill anyone, but he can still take them out. And so it's really cool. I won't spoil it, but it's really creative how he continues to use his assassin skills as well as being a jack of all trades in the community. And so again, you do see how Sakamoto and his family, continues to live on their regular normal lives, thinking that, he's completely out of the assassins, field of range, or out of the Assassin's Guild, to where he doesn't worry about that anymore. But there is a twist in this book that I will not spoil. He's technically not out. So think of Sakamoto Days as a manga version of John Wick. That's the perfect way to explain it. And so he was an assassin, he retired, he wanted to have a family, a wife, and a dog, and the wife and the dog is no more. He decides, you know what, I'm about to take people out. It's like that, but his family actually lives. But yet, since he was the best of the best, the other assassins that are still active don't like the fact that he still survived. But there's a reason why he survived, because he's that good. And so does the young man on the cover know this, to where now he works at his shop. But again, I won't spoil anymore. It is a good book. Again, just think John Wick, but manga form, and with comedy, and it's fun. So definitely give this one a try. My first take on the book, I actually enjoyed it. I read it in one sitting. It was really fast-paced. Each character has their own little side story, backstory. You see, how there's the comedy aspect of one day he's, eating ramen noodles and he's fat. And then during certain fight scenes, he all of a sudden slims down and he's like, how did you slim down? And when I read those certain pages, I was like, wait a minute, did I miss something? And it turns out that he burned all those calories off, but then the next day he's back fat. So that was a little fun aspect of it that I really did enjoy. And I will say that looking at the cover, again, another amazing suggestion by Kuma Busy Bee. One day he'll have to make a guest appearance, but until then, he recommends me pretty decent ones to start off with. Action, romance, all that. So yes, this was definitely by first look. I was like, what is this about? Is this going to be kind of, campy or not really interesting? Surprisingly, it was interesting. And I will say this, a tidbit, that at the end of the book, it starts the John Wick-esque kind of all the assassins want to get this one assassin. And the cool thing is that all the assassins have a really cool niche that they do, whether they, paint houses or they're a janitor or whatever. Like, I won't spoil it, but it's really neat how the author, he kind of makes each character, each assassin, their own little niche that they have, or own little skill that they have tying into what they do everyday lives. So it's really cool. It's really neat. Definitely give it a shot. That's my take on the first book. Was I hooked? Yes, I definitely was. For sure, I'm going to read book 2. The way it ended was definitely a cliffhanger that I need to figure out what happens next. So yes, I was hooked. Sunflowers, I would give this one a 4. I like where it's at right now with the action and the comedy, to where I know it can build and be more entertaining. I think there was a lot of volumes of this book on the shelf that I've seen, and so I just haven't collected them in book format yet, but this is definitely one that I will keep reading. I'm really interested in. Again, this is my first action one actually sitting down and reading, so I like how it drew me in, and it kind of eases me into what to expect with the style of Shonen Jump. It's very bam, 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 bam. There's some panels that are just straight action. So if you've never read a lot of action manga, just be prepared for some pages to be action. And that's it. No dialogue, no nothing. Like, you just have to read a page at a time, and you're just like, okay, this is an action. He's kicking, he's punching. Just prepare yourself for that if you're not used to it. So as of right now, it does not. So there have been rumors that it may get an anime, but as of right now, there's only the manga, and it is ongoing to my knowledge. It might change, but you never know. So as of right now, it doesn't have an anime. It seems like it's ongoing, but there's a lot of volumes to be able to catch up and keep you entertained. You can find this at your local bookstores, Books A Million, Barnes & Noble, Amazon, all that jazz. Sakamoto days, today is Manga Pollen. An action comedy Manga Pollen for you. Till next time.